Hello and welcome to another episode of I Build Forts in the Woods and Sleep in Them. We've got something cool in mind today, so yeah, no more talk. Let's just get right into it. So I've got my bed sleeve with me today, and kind of what I have in mind is to do some sort of like a little bit of a dugout shelter and maybe frame this thing out and get it kind of below ground level, maybe with a tiny little A-frame up over top of it. So yeah, I mean the first step in that is going to be get some poles and frame this thing out, and then we'll get our footprint of where I need to start digging. So I just had this Kydex sheath made for a shovel, and it sounds really cool when you pull it out. It kind of sounds like a sword. See if you can hear it. So I've dug this section out here in the middle, so when I lay my bed sleeve across here, the ends are going to be supported on these ledges, but it's going to be hollow underneath, so to give me some some flex in the bed sleeve, so I'll actually still be suspended in the air. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in here and to see if I have this wide enough and if it fits, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm done digging, so I'm going to show you kind of what I got going on before I start covering it all up and putting stuff in here. So I got some steps over there so I can walk down in here. These ledges right here are what's going to actually be holding the bed sleeve, so that it's kind of suspended over top of this, so I've got some bounce underneath me, so I'll make it more comfortable. I've dug out deeper over here so I can swing my feet out and have somewhere to put my feet so I can kind of like sit upright. and just a little shelf over here for me to put stuff on. It'll make it easier for me to reach than having it down there in the floor. So let me put my bed sleeve in here and we'll kind of see how it all looks. All right, guys, it's another day. When I was out here the other day and I had this finished, I was just about to wrap it up and call it good. I thought it was pretty cool, but I just saw the potential here for so much more. So I decided to come out here and work on this again. It's probably going to take me today and another day to get this finished, what I have in mind. But I'm going to go down deeper with all this, maybe a fireplace, and then do a roof over top and stuff like that. So I'm done with this part. It's the same setup as before. I just took the whole thing down maybe like 12 or 16 more inches. And somewhere over here on this wall, I'm gonna dig that back and dig in a fireplace here. I've got some rocks here and some clay here. I'm sure this is not going to be enough of either for me to finish this fireplace, but I want to go ahead and get started and see how far all this gets me. So I'm going to do a flat roof over top of this, but I've got it angled a little bit back. That way when it does rain on it, that rain should shed right off the roof. And I got a little bit lucky with this log I cut for this backside. It's actually bowed in the middle, which is going to help the drainage of water coming off the backside. Let's talk about the shelter for just a minute. This has evolved far beyond what I initially intended to do when I came out here. It just kind of kept growing until now we have this. So I obviously went with a bit more of a military fighting hole theme, but kept some of those nicer camping amenities like a full-on bed and a fireplace. So with the military fighting hole theme, um, it's dug in obviously about 4 feet deep. We've got our sandbags around it, and we've got our overhead cover. When I started building this roof, I wanted something that would protect this position from overhead observation as well as overhead thermal observation. Because I know the use of drones and thermal drones is becoming much more prolific. So to start with, I've got a layer of logs all the way across, and then a tarp on top of that. And that tarp is there to prevent any dirt from falling through. Because on top of those logs, I put about an inch of dirt all the way across, and then another tarp on top of that. So the dirt you might not need to protect against thermal observation. The logs with the tarp might have been fine. But just to err on the side of caution, I felt like this dirt would, well, there's no way that thermal could see inside this shelter with all these layers on top of this, especially an inch of dirt. but I don't want that dirt getting wet. If it gets wet, it's going to add a lot of weight and it's going to add a lot of wear and tear on the structural integrity of the roof. So to prevent the dirt from getting wet, I put a second tarp over top of the dirt. And then finally, to camouflage this position from the air, I just put a thin layer of leaves over top of that last tarp. And so it would just kind of, the footprint would just kind of blend in with the surrounding forest floor. I'm going to get the camera up as high as I can in a moment and kind of show you guys what that looks like. So that actually looks pretty good. I wish I had a drone, or better yet a thermal drone, so I'd actually fly over this thing, see what it looks like, and see if the roof actually protects against thermal. But I don't have those things, so we're just gonna have to assume that maybe it would work. Now, before too many of you scoff at the idea of having a fireplace in a concealed fighting position like that, I'm gonna throw up a little picture of a dug-in fighting position from Vietnam that the US and ARVN troops used. That actually had a wood burning cooking station in there that vented smoke and everything. So I guess it's just the use of the position, you know, where it's located, you know, what you're doing with it, whatever the situation would dictate. But definitely having actual fires in positions like this have been done before. Hey buddy, get ready. I see him out there. They're coming. Grenade! I think we got him. So our position has survived the assault by the UN and we have earned a brief reprieve. So let me take this moment to kind of show you guys around the shelter a little bit. So we have, let me back the camera out. Here we go. So we have full 360 degrees that we can see and observe. We've got a fireplace here. Nice fire going. Now, since I do have my roof extended over the fireplace to keep rain out, I don't want to build a massive fire in here, but a fire this size is totally fine. So we've got our bed. It's probably a little hard for you to see. It's kind of just getting dark out here now. But man, having like a full bed like this you can lay down inside of a fighting position is pretty comfy. Probably more comfy than anyone who's actually spent time in a fighting position ever has been. Well, that's going to be about it for me for tonight. I'm just going to lay here, enjoy this fire and this comfy bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh, it's 6 o'clock the next morning. About to gather my stuff up and head in. And I just wanted to give the last closing thoughts on this shelter. It's actually really kind of a cozy little shelter. Even with a very small fire in this fireplace, it probably raised the temperature in here like 15 degrees. Not that I needed it. It's like 95 out here. But yeah, the fireplace worked really well. And I was somewhat concerned initially about maybe these sandbags like getting too hot, but they really didn't get hot at all. I kept feeling them, and yeah, that wasn't a problem. And I could have had a bigger fire in here than I did, but like I said, it's pretty hot, so I kept it small. And it worked well. It really heated the shelter up, and you really couldn't see it outside the shelter, just with the naked eye anyway. The bed is super comfy. I mean, using the bed sleeve and framing it out like this, you can't get much much more of a comfortable bed in the woods than that. But this is actually a really cool little shelter. I've really enjoyed this build. It's been fun. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one.